What D&D character am I? Family elders are expressing disapproval of you to the rest of the family. Do you accept the criticism and change your ways? Seek a compromise with them? Besmirch the reputation of those expressing disapproval as you ignore their scorn? Silence them any way you can?
I would seek a compromise with them. Maintaining family harmony is important, and a discussion can often bridge gaps without fully sacrificing my own views or causing further discord.
Seek a compromise with them. Compromise shows respect for the elders' concerns while maintaining your own dignity and values. It promotes harmony within the family and avoids unnecessary conflict or escalation.
The best choice is seek a compromise with them. Addressing disapproval through compromise demonstrates respect for family dynamics while maintaining your own boundaries. Ignoring, attacking, or silencing them would likely escalate conflict rather than resolve it.
I would seek a compromise with them. Family dynamics can be complex, and finding a middle ground respects their concerns while maintaining my own perspective. Open communication often leads to better understanding and preserves relationships without resorting to confrontation or suppression.
I would seek a compromise with them. When family elders express disapproval, I believe it's important to listen respectfully to their concerns while also standing firm on my core values and identity. Finding middle ground through open dialogue often leads to better understanding on both sides and helps maintain family relationships while preserving my authentic self.
Would you give up a promising career to aid the family in time of need? In a heartbeat, yes, with some reluctance. Only if I was certain I'd be able to return to my career soon. No.
In a heartbeat. My family's well-being is paramount, and no career success could ever outweigh the importance of supporting them when they need me most.
Yes, with some reluctance. Balancing personal ambition with family responsibility requires careful thought, and feeling hesitation is natural when sacrificing something important. Choosing to help despite the cost reflects loyalty, while acknowledging the difficulty makes the decision more grounded and sincere.
The best choice is yes, with some reluctance. Balancing personal aspirations with family obligations shows dedication while acknowledging the difficulty of the decision. An immediate or absolute refusal might strain relationships, but complete self-sacrifice without hesitation could lead to resentment.
I would give up a promising career to aid the family in time of need, but with some reluctance. Family is a priority, and supporting them in a crisis is important, but I'd feel torn about pausing a promising career path.
I would choose yes with some reluctance. While I deeply value family and would prioritize helping them during a genuine crisis, I'd naturally feel some reluctance about sacrificing a promising career since professional fulfillment is also important to me. The reluctance wouldn't stop me from doing what's right, but it would be honest to acknowledge that such a significant sacrifice would involve real internal conflict between competing values.
Would you betray a family member to advance your own career? Yes, without a twinge of guilt. Yes, if I could do it secretly, I'd resist the temptation. I find the very idea abhorrent.
I find the very idea abhorrent. Betraying a family member for personal gain is generally considered a severe moral transgression across many cultures and ethical frameworks. Such an action would likely damage trust irreparably and could lead to significant familial strife and personal regret.
I find the very idea abhorrent.
The best choice is I find the very idea abhorrent.
I find the very idea abhorrent.
I find the very idea abhorrent. The thought of betraying a family member for personal gain goes against my core values of loyalty and integrity. Family bonds represent some of the most sacred relationships we have. Even if such a betrayal could significantly advance my career, I couldn't live with myself knowing I had violated that trust and hurt someone I'm supposed to love and protect.
4. Do you respect the leaders of your family? Their words guide my actions. They're role models for me. They're often out of touch with my life. They're out of touch with reality.
I'd say that they're role models for me. I truly admire their strength, wisdom, and the sacrifices they've made. Their experiences offer valuable perspectives that help shape my own path, even if we don't always see eye to eye on everything.
They're role models for me. I admire the way they handle responsibilities and support the family through challenges. Their values and integrity influence how I strive to live my own life.
The best choices, they're role models for me. Respecting family leaders as role models shows appreciation for their wisdom while maintaining a balanced perspective. Blind obedience or outright dismissal fails to acknowledge their experience or allow for individual growth.
They're often out of touch with my life. While I value my family's leaders and their intentions, their perspectives sometimes don't fully align with my experiences or the modern world I navigate. Respect is there, but it's tempered by a recognition that their guidance can feel disconnected from my reality.
I would choose their role models for me. While I recognize that family leaders aren't perfect and may sometimes have different perspectives due to generational gaps, I generally view them as people I can learn from and look up to. Their life experiences, wisdom gained through challenges, and the sacrifices they've made for the family earn my respect, even when we don't always see eye to eye on everything.
If your family had arranged your marriage to someone loathsome, would you go through with it, proud to serve your family? Agree, hiding your reluctance, subtly work against the union, flee?
Subtly work against the union. This option allows you to resist the arrangement without an immediate dramatic confrontation, giving you a chance to alter the outcome or seek alternative solutions before resorting to more extreme measures. It indicates a desire to avoid the unwanted union while still attempting to navigate the complex family dynamics.
Subtly work against the union. I would respect my family's intentions, but quietly take steps to avoid a future that would make me miserable. It's important to find a balance between honoring loved ones and preserving personal autonomy.
The best answer is flee. Arranged marriages to someone loathsome would likely cause long-term unhappiness, and fleeing demonstrates a commitment to personal autonomy. The other options either suppress true feelings or involve deception, which may lead to resentment or conflict.
I would subtly work against the union. While I respect my family's intentions, marrying someone loathsome would be unbearable, so I'd find discreet ways to undermine the arrangement without causing outright conflict. My happiness and autonomy matter too much to simply comply.
I would choose subtly work against the union. While I deeply respect my family, I believe that marriage is too fundamental and personal a decision to accept someone I find truly loathsome as a life partner. I would try to find respectful ways to demonstrate incompatibility or gently influence the situation rather than outright defying my family, but I couldn't commit to a lifetime with someone who would make me genuinely miserable.
You're estranged from a family member. On his deathbed, he seeks reconciliation. Do you speak to him but hold your ground? Refuse to speak to him? Discuss your estrangement openly and without rancor? Actively seek reconciliation and heed his dying words.
Actively seek reconciliation and heed his dying words. On a deathbed, the opportunity for closure is fleeting, and actively seeking reconciliation allows for forgiveness and peace for both parties. It prioritizes compassion and the potential for healing old wounds before it's too late.
Discuss your estrangement openly and without rancor. Facing the truth with honesty and compassion offers a chance for closure and healing, even if the relationship can't be fully repaired. A respectful conversation can honor both your pain and his final wishes.
The best answer is discuss your estrangement openly and without rancor. This approach allows for honest communication while maintaining emotional maturity, potentially resolving lingering conflicts. Refusing to engage or suppressing true feelings could leave unresolved regrets, whereas full reconciliation might disregard valid reasons for the estrangement.
I would discuss our estrangement openly and without rancor. Facing his final moments, I'd want to understand his perspective and share mine calmly, seeking closure for both of us without lingering bitterness. It feels like the most honest way to honor the moment and our shared history.
Actively seek reconciliation and heed his dying words. When someone is facing death, petty grievances and past hurts pale in comparison to the finality of losing that relationship forever. I believe in the power of forgiveness and would want to honor both the dying person's vulnerability in reaching out and my own need for closure, making peace while there's still time rather than carrying regret for the rest of my life.
A powerful but corrupt judge offers you wealth if you'll testify against your friend. Do you condemn your friend and take the money? Take the money and testify, but try to keep your testimony ineffective? Refuse the offer and refuse to testify? Testify on your friend's behalf, no matter the consequences?
Testify on your friend's behalf, no matter the consequences. This option demonstrates unwavering loyalty and integrity, prioritizing your friend's well-being and justice over personal gain or fear. Betraying a friend, especially to a corrupt system, would be a severe moral failing.
Testify on your friend's behalf, no matter the consequences. Loyalty and integrity matter more than personal gain. especially when someone's future is at stake. Standing by a friend in the face of corruption reflects true moral courage.
The strongest choice is testify on your friend's behalf, no matter the consequences. Defending your friend despite pressure shows unshakable integrity and loyalty, rejecting corruption even at personal cost. Choosing silence or half measures still enables injustice, while outright betrayal sacrifices morality for greed.
I would testify on my friend's behalf, no matter the consequences. Loyalty to a friend outweighs any temptation of wealth, especially from a corrupt source, and I'd stand by them to uphold what's right. Taking a stand against corruption feels more valuable than any bribe.
I would choose testify on your friend's behalf, no matter the consequences. I couldn't live with myself if I allowed a friend to be wrongly condemned, especially when I know they're innocent and I have the power to speak the truth on their behalf. While the consequences might be severe, my integrity and loyalty to someone I care about are worth more than my personal safety or comfort. Doing what's right sometimes requires real sacrifice.
Do you become close to friends or hold most people at a safe distance? I have an abundance of close friends. I have some close friends. I have few close friends. I try to keep people at a distance.
I have some close friends. This indicates a balanced approach where you are open to forming meaningful connections but also discerning about who you let into your innermost circle. It suggests you value deep relationships but understand that true closeness takes time and effort, making a select few friendships more profound than many superficial ones.
Close friends.
I have some close friends.
Close friends.
I have some close friends.
Have you ever betrayed a friend? I've done so more than once, and I sometimes get away with it. I've done so once. I've been tempted to do so, but I've never gone through with it. I'd never contemplate such a thing.
I'd never contemplate such a thing. This choice reflects a deep-seated ethical boundary and an unwavering commitment to the trust inherent in friendship. It signifies that the idea of betraying a friend is fundamentally against your moral code.
I've been tempted to do so, but I've never gone through with it. Moments of weakness or self-interest can test even strong friendships, but I've always chosen to remain loyal. The value of trust and the pain betrayal causes have kept me from crossing that line.
The most principled choice is, I'd never contemplate such a thing. Betrayal violates trust, which is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, making it unthinkable for those with strong integrity. Even temptation suggests moral conflict, while acting on it demonstrates a willingness to sacrifice loyalty for personal gain.
I'd never contemplate such a thing. Betraying a friend goes against my core values of loyalty and trust, which I hold dear in any close relationship. Even in tough situations, I'd find a way to stay true to those I care about.
I've been tempted to do so, but I've never gone through with it. I think it's honest to acknowledge that there have been moments when betraying a friend might have seemed like the easier path or could have benefited me in some way, but I've always resisted those impulses. Recognizing the temptation makes me more conscious of protecting my friendships and staying true to my values, rather than pretending such moral challenges never arise.
How do you view lifelong commitment to a single romantic partner? I have or want such a romance. Such a romance would be ideal if it's achievable. I worry I'd miss out on what others have to offer. Tie yourself to one person, huge mistake.
I have or want such a romance. Such a response expresses a direct and positive affirmation of desiring or already experiencing a deep, enduring partnership. It reflects a belief in the value and fulfillment found within a long-term, committed romantic relationship.
I have or want such a romance. Sharing a deep, lasting bond with one person offers a sense of stability, trust, and emotional fulfillment that's hard to match. Lifelong commitment reflects a powerful partnership built on love, growth, and mutual respect.
The most balanced and realistic choice is, such a romance would be ideal if it's achievable. This acknowledges the value of deep, lasting love while recognizing that successful long-term relationships require effort and compatibility. Absolute rejection of commitment suggests fear of intimacy, while blind idealism ignores the complexities of human relationships.
I have or want such a romance. A lifelong commitment to one partner feels deeply fulfilling to me, built on trust and shared growth. While challenges exist, the idea of a lasting, meaningful bond is something I cherish and strive for.
Such a romance would be ideal if it's achievable. I deeply value the idea of finding someone with whom I can build a lasting, committed partnership filled with love, growth, and shared experiences over a lifetime. However, I'm realistic about the challenges involved in maintaining such a relationship and recognize that it requires the right person, timing, and mutual commitment to truly work. It's a beautiful goal that I'd strive for while acknowledging it's not guaranteed.
Do you insist on repayment when lending money to friends? Yes, and I write up a contract so there's no misunderstanding. Yes, but I try to be flexible about the exact terms. No, although it's sure nice to be repaid. No, they just owe me a favor.
Yes, but I try to be flexible about the exact terms. This option ensures that you maintain the understanding that the money is a loan to be repaid, while also demonstrating empathy and understanding for your friend's circumstances by being willing to adjust repayment conditions if needed. It protects the financial aspect without unduly stressing the relationship.
No, although it's sure nice to be repaid. Helping a friend in need shouldn't come with rigid expectations, but I do appreciate when the gesture is acknowledged and reciprocated. Trust and goodwill are more important to me than strict repayment.
Oh, no. Although it's sure nice to be repaid. I lend money to friends with the mindset of helping, not banking. If they repay me, great, but I won't strain the relationship over it. Putting formal contracts or expectations on friendship feels transactional, though I also wouldn't let myself be endlessly taken advantage of.
No, although it's sure nice to be repaid. When I lend money to friends, I see it as an act of trust and support, not a transaction that demands strict repayment. While I'd appreciate the money back, I value the friendship more and don't want it to feel like a business deal.
I would choose yes, but I try to be flexible about the exact terms. I believe it's important to have clear expectations about repayment when lending money to friends because financial ambiguity can damage relationships. But I also want to be understanding of their circumstances and not create unnecessary stress over rigid timelines. Being flexible about the terms allows me to maintain both financial responsibility and the caring, supportive nature of friendship.
Are you still in touch with childhood friends? Yes, we correspond regularly. Yes, we try to keep in touch. No, I move around too much. No, I don't have anything in common with them anymore.
Yes, we try to keep in touch. This option reflects a common reality where maintaining connections from childhood often requires effort due to life's changes, but the value of those relationships encourages people to make that effort. It acknowledges that while regular, effortless correspondence might not always be feasible, there's a conscious attempt to stay connected to shared history.
Yes, we try to keep in touch. Life gets busy and people grow in different directions, but I value the shared history and memories we have. Even occasional check-ins help maintain that meaningful connection.
Yes, we try to keep in touch. Life gets busy, and while we may not talk as often as we'd like, I make an effort to maintain those early bonds when possible. Some friendships fade naturally, but the meaningful ones are worth nurturing, even if it's just occasional check-ins.
Yes, we try to keep in touch. I value the connection with my childhood friends because they remind me of where I came from, even if life has pulled us in different directions. We may not talk often, but I make an effort to check in and maintain those bonds when possible.
I would choose yes, we try to keep in touch. While life has taken us in different directions and we don't talk as frequently as we once did, I value the shared history and deep connection that comes from growing up together. I make an effort to maintain those relationships through occasional messages, calls, or visits because childhood friendships represent a unique bond that's worth preserving even as we all evolve and change.
Do you donate time and money to improve the local community? Yes, the needs of the community are my top priority. Yes, I donate as much as I can once my own needs are met. No, I don't have enough time or money to spare. No, my local community would be a waste of time and money.
Yes, I donate as much as I can once my own needs are met. This option demonstrates a commitment to community improvement while also recognizing the importance of personal stability. It's a realistic way to contribute meaningfully without overextending oneself.
Yes, I donate as much as I can once my own needs are met. Supporting the community is important, but I believe it's also essential to maintain personal stability to be in a position to help effectively. When I'm able, I give back through donations or volunteering.
Yes, I donate as much as I can once my own needs are met. I believe in supporting my community, but I also recognize that sustainability starts with ensuring my own stability first. While I can't always give as much as I'd like, contributing when possible, whether through time, money, or effort, feels like a shared responsibility.
Yes, I donate as much as I can once my own needs are met. I care about improving my local community and contribute time or money when I'm able, as it strengthens the place I live in. However, I prioritize my own stability first to ensure I can give meaningfully without overextending myself.
Yes, I donate as much as I can once my own needs are met. I believe in contributing to my community and helping make it a better place for everyone, but I also recognize the practical need to ensure my own stability first, so I can be consistently helpful rather than becoming a burden myself. Once I'm secure in meeting my basic needs, I try to give back through both time and financial contributions, because a thriving community benefits all of us who live in it.
Your community is threatened with invasion. Do you help defend it to your last breath? Defend the area with the rest of your community? Flee as soon as things look grim? Cut a deal with the enemy to act as a spy?
When my community is threatened with invasion, I would defend the area with the rest of my community. It's crucial to stand together and contribute to the collective safety of everyone. While a last-breath defense is noble, participating as part of a unified front is the most effective and responsible way to protect our home.
If you were injured and required immediate assistance, would members of your hometown agree to help? Yes, because they know I'd do the same for them. Yes, because I'm generally well-liked in my hometown. Probably not, because I'm distrusted in my hometown. Definitely not. I've made some enemies in my hometown.
Yes, because they know I'd do the same for them. This option reflects a strong sense of mutual aid and reciprocal trust within your community, indicating that you have fostered relationships based on helping others in need. It suggests a healthy and supportive environment where assistance is given freely, knowing it would be returned.
Do you respect the laws and authorities of the community? Yes, without question. Yes, they're generally the best way to govern. When it suits me, there are some laws I just don't agree with. I don't pay attention to the authorities. They've got no hold on me.
Yes, they're generally the best way to govern. This option demonstrates a healthy respect for the legal framework and governing bodies, while also implicitly acknowledging that no system is perfect. It suggests an understanding of the necessity of laws for societal order without blindly adhering to them if they were demonstrably unjust.
Yes, they are generally the best way to govern. Laws and authorities provide structure and safety, and most are designed to protect the common good. While not perfect, they offer a framework that helps society function fairly.
Yes, they're generally the best way to govern. I respect laws and authority as necessary structures for maintaining order, but I also believe in questioning unjust or outdated rules. Blind obedience ignores flaws in the system, while outright defiance risks chaos. Balance is key.
I would choose yes. They're generally the best way to govern. I respect the laws and authorities of my community because they provide structure and stability for everyone, even if I don't always agree with every rule. Following them helps maintain a sense of order, but I'd question or challenge them respectfully if they seem unjust.
I would choose yes, they're generally the best way to govern. While I recognize that laws and authorities aren't perfect and sometimes make mistakes, I believe that having established systems of governance is essential for maintaining order and protecting people's rights in a complex society. I respect the rule of law as a principle, while also believing it's important to work through proper channels to address injustices or outdated policies rather than simply ignoring laws I disagree with.
Do members of your hometown shun, avoid, or mock you? Yes, their small minds can't handle anyone outside the norm. Some do because I don't always fit in. No, I'm generally seen as normal. No, I set the standard for what is normal in my community.
No, I'm generally seen as normal. An individual who is well-adjusted and functioning effectively in a community would likely be perceived as normal rather than being ostracized. Being seen as normal suggests a positive integration into the social fabric of their hometown.
Some do, because I don't always fit in. I tend to think and act differently, which can make certain people uncomfortable or uncertain about how to relate to me. While not everyone understands me, I've learned to value authenticity over approval.
Some do, because I don't always fit in. I embrace my individuality, and while that means not everyone understands or accepts me, I've learned to value authenticity over universal approval. Complete rejection or total conformity both feel like extremes, I'd rather have genuine connections than force myself into a mold.
No, I'm generally seen as normal. I blend in well enough with my hometown crowd, as I share their core values and vibe, even if I have my own quirks. People don't shun or mock me. They see me as a relatable part of the community.
I would choose. No, I'm generally seen as normal. I tend to get along well with most people in my community because I make an effort to be respectful, helpful, and understanding of different perspectives, which helps me blend in without compromising my authentic self. While I may have my own unique qualities and opinions, I don't go out of my way to be controversial or stand out in ways that would make others uncomfortable or cause them to avoid me.
Would you stand for office or seek to represent the interests of the community in some public manner? To do so would be an honor I'd joyously accept. Of course, it's everyone's duty to do so. Only if no one else could handle the job. No, I don't want to be responsible for the community's welfare.
To do so would be an honor I'd joyously accept. Such a response highlights a genuine desire to serve and a deep respect for the responsibility of public representation. It conveys a proactive willingness to contribute to the well-being of the community through leadership.
To do so would be an honor I'd joyously accept. Serving the community in a leadership role is a meaningful way to give back and help shape a better future. It reflects a deep commitment to the well-being and voices of others.
Of course, it's everyone's duty to do so. I believe civic engagement is a shared responsibility. If capable, people should contribute to shaping their community's future rather than leaving it to others. While leadership isn't always easy, stepping up when needed reflects commitment to collective well-being over personal comfort.
Only if no one else could handle the job. I'd step up to represent my community if there was a clear need and no better candidate, as I care about its welfare but don't actively seek the spotlight. Public service is important, but I'd rather support someone else who's naturally suited for the role unless circumstances demand otherwise.
I would choose. Of course, it's everyone's duty to do so. I believe that in a healthy democracy, citizens have a responsibility to contribute to governance and representation when they're able, rather than leaving all civic duties to others. While public service can be challenging and demanding, I see it as part of being a responsible member of society. We all benefit from good governance, so we should all be willing to step up and contribute our skills and perspectives when the opportunity arises.
Your country is racked with famine. Would you share what food you had with others? Eat as little as possible yourself and share the rest? Steal what food you needed to survive? Steal as much food as possible, then sell it back to the community at a high price?
Eat as little as possible yourself and share the rest. In a crisis like famine, prioritizing the well-being of others while still maintaining one's own survival is a highly empathetic and responsible approach. It demonstrates a commitment to communal welfare and an understanding of shared hardship.
Eat as little as possible yourself and share the rest.
Eat as little as possible yourself and share the rest.
If offered enough money, would you slip a poison into your king's drink? Yes, I've done similar things before. Yes, if I thought I could get away with it. No, although a vast sum of money would tempt me. No, and I'd warn the king of the plot.
No, and I'd warn the king of the plot. An individual with a strong moral compass would not only refuse to commit regicide, but would also actively work to prevent harm to their sovereign. It demonstrates loyalty, integrity, and a commitment to justice.
No, and I'd warn the king of the plot. Betrayal for personal gain is morally reprehensible, and poisoning a ruler could destabilize the entire kingdom, harming countless innocents. Loyalty and integrity matter more than wealth. I'd expose the conspiracy to protect both the king and the realm.
I would choose. No, and I'd warn the king of the plot. Beyond my personal moral opposition to murder, I believe that knowledge of such a plot creates a responsibility to protect an innocent person's life, regardless of their position or power. Even if I had grievances against the king's policies, assassination would be wrong, and allowing someone to be poisoned when I could prevent it would make me complicit in their death. I'd have to live with that choice for the rest of my life.
A plague is sweeping across your country. Would you undertake a dangerous mission to find the cure? Heal the sick as best you can? Avoid contact with the sick? Flee the country?
Heal the sick as best you can. In the face of a widespread illness, providing direct care and comfort to those afflicted is a compassionate and practical response. While finding a cure is noble, immediate assistance to the suffering is often the most impactful action an individual can take.
Undertake a dangerous mission to find the cure. When lives are at stake, taking bold action can make a real difference and bring hope to those who are suffering. Even in the face of risk, striving to solve the root problem is the most impactful way to help.
Heal the sick as best you can. While I may not have the skills or courage to embark on a perilous quest for a cure, I can still make a difference by offering care and comfort to those suffering. Abandoning the vulnerable or prioritizing only my own survival would betray my sense of duty and compassion.
I would heal the sick as best I can. While I'm not fearless enough to chase a cure on a dangerous mission, I'd step up to help those suffering with whatever skills or resources I have, as it feels right to support my community in crisis. Avoiding or fleeing would leave me feeling like I abandoned people who needed help.
I would choose heal the sick as best you can. While I deeply admire those brave enough to undertake dangerous missions to find cures, I believe my most practical contribution would be using whatever skills and resources I have to care for those who are already suffering. Providing comfort, basic medical care, and emotional support to the sick feels like the most immediate and tangible way I could help during such a crisis, even if it means accepting some personal risk to be there for people in their time of greatest need.
Do you respect the lawful authority of the rulers of the land? Yes, long live the Queen. Yes, our rulers are generally fair and just. No, a ruler is no better than anyone else. No, rulers are invariably corrupted by power.
Yes, our rulers are generally fair and just. Acknowledging the general fairness and justice of rulers demonstrates a balanced and pragmatic respect for authority. It implies a recognition of the need for governance while not necessarily endorsing absolute, unquestioning loyalty.
Yes, our rulers are generally fair and just. While no system is perfect, I believe that legitimate authority, when exercised with fairness and accountability, helps maintain order and protect citizens' rights. Trust in leadership depends on their actions, not just their titles.
Yes, all rulers are generally fair and just. I respect authority when it's exercised responsibly and for the common good, but my loyalty isn't blind. It depends on just governance. Absolute rejection of leadership ignores its role in stability, while uncritical devotion risks enabling tyranny.
Yes, our rulers are generally fair and just. I respect lawful authority when it's exercised fairly, as it maintains order and justice. While no system is perfect, I believe most rulers aim to govern responsibly, and supporting their authority helps society function smoothly, provided they uphold the common good.
Yes, our rulers are generally fair and just. While I believe that rulers are human beings with flaws like anyone else, I think that respecting lawful authority is important for maintaining social stability, especially when those in power generally try to govern fairly and in the public interest. I'm not blindly loyal to authority, but I recognize that having established leadership structures is necessary for society to function, and I'd support rulers who demonstrate genuine commitment to justice and the welfare of their people.
If you were offered a reasonably lucrative deal, would you spy for a hostile foreign power? Yes, because this nation could stand to be knocked down a peg. Yes, because the nation's secrets mean little to me. No, because I might get caught. No, because I'd never violate the trust my nation puts in me.
No, because I'd never violate the trust my nation puts in me. Refusing to spy due to a commitment to national trust showcases strong loyalty and integrity. It highlights a moral compass that prioritizes fidelity over personal gain, even when tempted by a significant reward.
No, because I'd never violate the trust my nation puts in me. Loyalty to one's country is a matter of principle, not just legality or fear of punishment. Betraying that trust for personal gain would undermine the very values that hold a nation together.
No, because I'd never violate the trust my nation puts in me. Betraying my country for personal gain would undermine the social contract that keeps society functioning, regardless of my opinions on its policies. The risk of getting caught is irrelevant. The deeper issue is sacrificing integrity for money, which corrodes both character and community trust.
No, because I'd never violate the trust my nation puts in me. I value loyalty to my nation and the trust placed in me. Spying for a hostile power would betray that trust and harm my country's security. Integrity matters more than any lucrative deal, and I'd never compromise my principles.
No, because I'd never violate the trust my nation puts in me. Even if I disagreed with some of my country's policies or leaders, I believe that betraying national secrets to a hostile foreign power would be a fundamental violation of the trust and responsibility that comes with citizenship. The potential harm to innocent people in my community and country far outweighs any personal financial gain, and I couldn't live with myself knowing I had potentially put fellow citizens at risk for money.
Do you rely on the government to enforce contracts and property rights? Yes, because maintaining the rule of law is more important than any individual dispute. Yes, because the courts are best equipped to handle such disputes. Are you kidding me? The government can't even pave roads. Absolutely not. If I can't defend it myself, I don't deserve to have it.
Yes, because maintaining the rule of law is more important than any individual dispute. A functioning society relies on established legal frameworks to ensure fairness and predictability in transactions and ownership. Upholding the rule of law through government enforcement provides the necessary stability for individuals and businesses to thrive.
Yes, because the courts are best equipped to handle such disputes. A fair and impartial legal system provides a structured way to resolve conflicts without resorting to personal retaliation. Relying on the courts helps uphold order and protect everyone's rights equally.
Yes, because maintaining the rule of law is more important than any individual dispute. A functioning legal system prevents chaos and ensures fairness, even if it's imperfect. Relying solely on personal enforcement leads to vendettas and instability. While governments can be inefficient, abandoning structured justice altogether risks replacing order with brute force.
Yes, because the courts are best equipped to handle such disputes. I rely on the government to enforce contracts and property rights because courts provide a structured, impartial system for resolving disputes. Their authority ensures fairness and consistency, which is essential for a stable society, even if the system isn't flawless.
I would choose yes, because the courts are best equipped to handle such disputes. While government institutions aren't perfect, the court system provides a structured, impartial way to resolve conflicts that's far better than people taking matters into their own hands or simply accepting that might makes right. Having trained judges, established legal procedures, and enforceable rulings creates a foundation of trust that allows commerce and relationships to function smoothly even when disagreements arise.
If imprisoned, would you injure or kill others to escape? Yes. Serves them right for locking me up. Yes. They knew the risks when they took the job. No, except for minor wounds that will heal easily. No, those guards are just doing their jobs.
No, those guards are just doing their jobs. Choosing not to harm others, even when seeking freedom, demonstrates a strong moral compass and respect for human life. Individuals performing their duties should not be subjected to violence, regardless of one's personal circumstances.
No, causing harm to people simply performing their duties would be unjust and morally wrong. Even in desperate circumstances, respect for human life and ethical boundaries should remain intact.
No, those guards are just doing their jobs. Escaping through violence would make me no better than whatever led to my imprisonment, and harming people who are simply fulfilling their duties is unjust. Minor injuries aren't morally better. They still prioritize my freedom over others' well-being and the rule of law.
No, those guards are just doing their jobs. I wouldn't injure or kill to escape prison. Guards are simply doing their duty, and violence against them is unjust. Escaping should be about outsmarting the system, not harming others who are following orders in good faith.
I would choose no. Those guards are just doing their jobs. Even if I believe my imprisonment was unjust, I couldn't bring myself to seriously harm people who are simply doing their jobs within the legal system. They didn't personally wrong me and likely have families depending on them. While the desire for freedom would be overwhelming, I'd have to find other ways to challenge my imprisonment through legal appeals or other non-violent means rather than causing lasting harm to innocent people.
Do you accept a noble's right to treat badly the serfs who work on his land? Yes. They're lucky they're not slaves. Yes, because sometimes only fear will motivate them. No, nobles should rule as kindly as possible. No one has any right to treat another badly. Period.
No one has any right to treat another badly. Period. Such a statement unequivocally rejects any justification for mistreatment, upholding the fundamental principle of human dignity and respect. No social standing or power grants an individual the authority to inflict cruelty upon another.
You have accidentally committed a crime. Do you turn yourself in and attempt to make restitution to the victim? Turn yourself in, throwing yourself on the mercy of the court? Hide your involvement, lying if you have to? Try to pin the crime on another?
Turn yourself in and attempt to make restitution to the victim. Such an action demonstrates both integrity and a commitment to justice, taking responsibility for the mistake while also seeking to mitigate harm to the affected party. It shows a desire to uphold the law and make amends for unintended consequences.
Turn yourself in and attempt to make restitution to the victim. Taking responsibility and making amends shows true remorse and a desire to set things right. It's not just about facing punishment, but about restoring trust and addressing the harm done.
Turn yourself in and attempt to make restitution to the victim. Taking responsibility shows integrity, and directly addressing the harm caused is more meaningful than relying solely on legal mercy. Hiding or shifting blame compounds the wrongdoing. Accountability, even when difficult, is the only path to true resolution.
Turn yourself in and attempt to make restitution to the victim. I'd turn myself in and make restitution because owning up to mistakes is the right thing to do. Taking responsibility shows integrity, and compensating the victim helps repair the harm caused, aligning with fairness and personal accountability.
Turn yourself in and attempt to make restitution to the victim. Taking responsibility means acknowledging harm I've caused and actively working to repair it. The victim deserves justice and compensation, not just my confession. While turning myself in is important, focusing on making things right for the person I wronged feels like the most ethical path forward.
If guilty, would you confess to a crime? Yes, because it is my duty to do so. Yes, because it might get me a lighter sentence. No, I'd make the magistrates prove my guilt. No, and I'd try to prove my own innocence.
Yes, because it is my duty to do so. Confessing when guilty aligns with a strong sense of personal responsibility and integrity. It demonstrates a commitment to truth and a willingness to accept the consequences of one's actions.
Yes, because it is my duty to do so. Honesty and accountability are essential to maintaining personal integrity and respect for the law. Admitting guilt, even when difficult, upholds justice and demonstrates moral responsibility.
Yes, because it is my duty to do so. Confessing to a crime when guilty demonstrates moral courage and respect for justice, regardless of the consequences. Seeking a lighter sentence or evading responsibility undermines the integrity of the legal system and fails to acknowledge the harm caused.
Yes, because it is my duty to do so. I'd confess if guilty because honesty is my duty. Owning up to my actions reflects integrity and respects the justice system. Confession fosters accountability and trust, even if it's difficult, and it's the right step toward making amends.
Yes, because it is my duty to do so. If I'm genuinely guilty, confessing is the right thing to do regardless of consequences. It respects the justice system, shows accountability for my actions, and demonstrates integrity. While self-preservation is natural, living with honesty and taking responsibility for wrongdoing feels more important than potential punishment avoidance.
Would you express a revolutionary political opinion if threatened with punishment? Yes, I'd rather be punished than remain silent. Yes, somebody's got to speak the truth. No, although I might privately express my opinion to friends. No, politics aren't worth getting worked up about.
I'd rather be punished than remain silent. Such a stance highlights an unwavering commitment to one's beliefs, prioritizing freedom of expression over personal safety. It demonstrates profound courage and a refusal to be silenced by threats.
Yes, somebody's got to speak the truth. Speaking out, even under threat, can be a powerful act of resistance that inspires others and challenges injustice. Remaining silent in the face of oppression only helps preserve the status quo.
Yes, somebody's got to speak the truth. Silence in the face of injustice only perpetuates oppression, and history shows that progress often requires courage in the face of punishment. While discretion with friends has its place, public truth-telling is sometimes necessary to challenge corrupt systems.
No, although I might privately express my opinion to friends, I wouldn't express a revolutionary opinion publicly if it risked punishment, as self-preservation matters. I'd share my views privately with trusted friends, where I can speak freely without consequences. Public defiance is noble, but I'd rather stay strategic and safe.
Yes, somebody's got to speak the truth. I believe truth and justice are worth the personal risk. When fundamental principles are at stake, silence enables oppression. While I'd be thoughtful about timing and approach, remaining quiet in the face of serious injustice feels like complicity. Some battles are worth fighting despite potential consequences.
While traveling, you witness an assault. You are ordered to testify, which will delay your travel significantly. Do you slip out of town at night to avoid testifying? Deny you saw anything. Remain reluctantly, testify, and leave. Remain until the trial's conclusion in case further testimony is needed.
Remain until the trial's conclusion in case further testimony is needed. Such a decision prioritizes the pursuit of justice and civic responsibility over personal inconvenience. Ensuring that the legal process has all necessary information for a just outcome is a crucial duty when witnessing a crime.
Remain until the trial's conclusion in case further testimony is needed. Justice and accountability matter more than personal inconvenience, especially when someone's safety or freedom is at stake. Staying ensures that the truth is fully heard and that your civic responsibility is fulfilled.
Remain until the trial's conclusion in case further testimony is needed. Justice requires full participation, not just minimal compliance. Skipping town or lying would abandon the victim and undermine the legal process. While delays are frustrating, ensuring a fair outcome matters more than personal convenience.
I'd remain reluctantly, testify, and leave. Testifying is a civic duty that upholds justice, even if it's inconvenient. Slipping out or denying what I saw avoids responsibility and could let a criminal go free. Staying until the trial's end is unnecessary unless required, so testifying and leaving balances duty and personal plans.
Remain until the trial's conclusion in case further testimony is needed. Witnessing an assault creates a moral and civic obligation to ensure justice is served. Someone was victimized and deserves my full support in seeking accountability. My travel inconvenience pales compared to their trauma and need for justice. I'd stay as long as necessary to help convict the perpetrator.
What is the best use of wealth? To help the destitute and less fortunate. Provide for the needs of friends and family. To stay on top of the heap yourself. To not only stay on top, but keep others from climbing to your level.
To help the destitute and less fortunate. The most impactful and ethically commendable use of wealth is to uplift those facing hardship. Directing resources towards alleviating suffering and improving lives for the vulnerable demonstrates profound compassion and contributes significantly to the greater good of society.
To help the destitute and less fortunate. Wealth carries a moral responsibility to uplift those who lack opportunity or resources. Using it to ease suffering and create a more equitable society brings lasting value beyond personal gain.
To help the destitute and less fortunate. Wealth has the greatest impact when it uplifts those in dire need, as basic survival and dignity should never hinge on luck or privilege. While providing for loved ones is important, limiting generosity to an inner circle ignores our broader responsibility to society's most vulnerable.
I believe wealth's best use is helping the destitute. It alleviates suffering, promotes fairness, and fosters a stronger community. Supporting those in need reflects compassion and responsibility, making a meaningful impact beyond personal gain.
To help the destitute and less fortunate. While caring for family is important, I believe those with wealth have a moral obligation to address systemic suffering. When basic human needs go unmet while others have abundance, using resources to lift up the most vulnerable feels like the highest ethical calling and creates the greatest positive impact.
When confronted by beggars, do you give generously, give moderately, give only what you wouldn't miss anyway, $1 or $2 at the most, ignore them as you walk by?
Give moderately. Such an approach allows for consistent acts of kindness and provides assistance to those in need without causing personal financial strain. It reflects a balanced sense of compassion, acknowledging the plight of others while managing one's own resources responsibly.
Give moderately. It's important to respond with compassion while also being mindful of sustainability and fairness. Offering a reasonable amount balances generosity with practicality, allowing you to help without fostering dependency or draining your own resources.
Give moderately. Generosity matters, but sustainable giving requires balance. I aim to help without compromising my own ability to meet future needs. $1 or indifference might feel pragmatic, but intentional. Meaningful assistance aligns better with both compassion and practicality.
Give moderately. I give moderately to beggars because it balances compassion with practicality. Helping those in need feels right, but I also consider my own resources. A moderate contribution shows kindness while ensuring I can continue supporting others in the future.
Give generously. When I encounter someone asking for help, I see a human being in need. While I can't solve systemic poverty alone, giving generously in the moment acknowledges their dignity and provides real assistance. Even if some might misuse donations, the potential good outweighs concerns about individual judgment calls.
By using magic, you could fool village merchants into thinking your copper pieces were made of gold. Do you? Yes, and I'll buy as much as I can. Yes, but I'll only cheat the rich merchants. No, it's too risky. No, those merchants have families to feed.
No, those merchants have families to feed. Such a response demonstrates a strong ethical compass and empathy for others, recognizing the harmful impact of deception on their livelihood. It prioritizes the well-being of innocent individuals over personal gain through dishonest means.
No, those merchants have families to feed.
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 You have two job offers. One pays more, but the other is secure and steady. Which do you choose? Definitely the lucrative job. Steady work sounds like drudgery. Probably the lucrative job, although I'd look into the secure job. The secure job, unless the other job was outrageously lucrative. Definitely the secure job, because I plan for the long term.
Definitely the secure job, because I plan for the long term. Prioritizing a secure and steady position reflects a strategic approach to career and financial stability. It emphasizes a desire for predictable income and peace of mind over potentially fleeting high earnings.
Definitely the secure job, because I plan for the long term. Long-term stability provides peace of mind and allows for consistent growth, both financially and personally. A secure foundation is often more valuable than short-term wealth that comes with uncertainty.
The secure job, unless the other job was outrageously lucrative. Stability provides peace of mind and long-term planning, but I'd weigh exceptional opportunities carefully. Balance matters more than extremes. Blindly chasing money risks instability, while outright rejecting high rewards might mean missing life-changing possibilities.
The secure job, unless the other job was outrageously lucrative. I'd choose the secure job for stability and long-term planning as it ensures peace of mind. However, if the lucrative job's pay is exceptionally high and sustainable, I'd consider it after careful evaluation, balancing risk with reward.
The secure job, unless the other job was outrageously lucrative. Financial stability and predictability matter more to me than chasing maximum income. A secure job provides peace of mind, allows for better life planning, and reduces stress. I'd only consider the higher paying option if the difference was so substantial it fundamentally changed my long-term security prospects.
What's the best path to wealth? It's a matter of luck and being in the right place at the right time, staying flexible so you can take advantage of good opportunities, following a long-term plan that incorporates a comfortable level of risk, hard work, and perseverance.
Following a long-term plan that incorporates a comfortable level of risk. Building substantial wealth often requires a strategic vision coupled with consistent effort and calculated decisions over time. A well-thought-out plan allows for disciplined growth while acknowledging that some degree of risk is inherent in significant financial gains.
Following a long-term plan that incorporates a comfortable level of risk. Wealth is most reliably built through disciplined planning, balanced with the courage to seize calculated opportunities. This approach allows for both stability and growth over time.
Following a long-term plan that incorporates a comfortable level of risk. Wealth built on patience and calculated strategy tends to last, while relying solely on luck or relentless hustle often leads to burnout or instability. Flexibility and hard work matter, but without structure, they're just fragments of a larger picture.
Following a long-term plan that incorporates a comfortable level of risk. I believe the best path to wealth is a long-term plan with manageable risk. It combines strategic thinking with adaptability, ensuring steady progress while seizing opportunities. Hard work matters, but a smart plan maximizes outcomes without relying on luck.
Following a long-term plan that incorporates a comfortable level of risk. Sustainable wealth comes from thoughtful planning combined with calculated risks. While hard work matters, direction is crucial. Pure luck isn't reliable, and opportunism without strategy often backfires. A well-considered long-term approach that balances growth potential with manageable risk creates the most reliable path to financial success.
If you accepted a job or contract, would you try to finish the task even if it got much more dangerous? Yes, my word is my bond. Yes, because it's good to have a reputation for dependability. You can bet I'd be renegotiating. If it's no longer a good deal, then the deal is off.
Yes, my word is my bond. Such a response demonstrates an unwavering commitment to one's agreements, prioritizing integrity and honor above escalating personal risk. It reflects a deep-seated belief in the importance of keeping promises, regardless of changing circumstances.
Yes, my word is my bond. Commitment means standing by your promises even when circumstances become difficult. Integrity builds trust, and honoring your word shows strength of character.
Yes, because it's good to have a reputation for dependability. Honoring commitments builds trust and credibility even when challenges arise. Walking away at the first sign of danger undermines professional integrity. That said, blind adherence to a contract without assessing extreme risks can be reckless. I'd weigh the true cost of perseverance.
Yes, because it's good to have a reputation for dependability. I'd finish the task despite increased danger because dependability builds trust and a strong reputation. Keeping commitments shows integrity, though I'd ensure safety measures are in place. Renegotiating might be tempting, but sticking to the job reflects my reliability.
Yes, my word is my bond. When I make a commitment, I believe in honoring it regardless of changing circumstances. My integrity and trustworthiness are more valuable than any short-term convenience. While extreme danger might warrant discussion, abandoning obligations when things get difficult undermines the foundation of trust that relationships and society depend on.
What is my alignment?
I am lawful good.
I am lawful good.
I am lawful good.
I am neutral good.
I am lawful good.